Growth. It's happening everywhere. You can't stop it. Land that once stretched wide and wild, open for adventure, is now closing in. The spaces where people once wandered freely, exploring, dreaming, pushing their limits, are vanishing. Fenced off, built over, transformed into something else. It's not just this place. It's happening everywhere. I'm grateful my kids had the chance to ride out here, across the highway from where we live, on what they called the Whoop-de-Doo track. The first time I heard them say it, I thought it was just a cute nickname they made up. I had no idea it was an actual motorcycle term for a dirt bike track. This was all new to me, and seeing it through their eyes was the best way to be introduced to it. This was a place where riders gathered, a well-known spot to test their skills, fly over the whoops, get squirrely on the drifts, and hit the berms. I heard all kinds of phrases over the years, and certain ones just stuck. Out here on the whoops, you could feel the freedom and passion in the air, the rumble of engines revving, the scent of gas and dust mixing under the sun. Some riders would stop to chat, sharing stories and advice, while others barreled past, showing off as my kids watched in awe. On some days we had the place to ourselves, and those were the best. Watching them start out wobbly and unsure, then grow more confident with each lap, that was really something special, something I'll never forget. Over the years, their skills sharpened, their bikes changed, and they grew up right there on that dirt. There's nothing like the rush of riding. The mix of adrenaline and freedom on those dirt trails is unmatched. No stress, no distractions, just pure focus. Out here, they mastered their motorcycles, learning balance, control, and awareness. They learned how to think ahead, react quickly, and trust themselves, all skills that carried over into real life. So when the time came to learn to drive, the transition was smoother than I'd hoped. My son even taught his little sister to drive out here, guiding her over the same dirt they had torn up on their bikes for years, the same open space that shaped them both.
You're doing fine. Just put it to the floor. All right, let up. Okay. Let up. Stop. Break. Okay, not that much. You're fine. Good.
But the trails are gone now, closed off to make way for something new. The land was cleared, the dirt paths erased, and in their place a new development took shape, a tract of a different kind. They were homes, rows of homes packed so tightly you can hear your neighbor sneeze. What was once a place of freedom, a playground for my kids and so many others, has been replaced by driveways and rooftops stretching as far as the eye can see. More and more, the open lands and fields we once hoped would remain untouched have been overtaken by development. Change is constant, but whether or not we grow from it is up to us. My kids are grown and have their own responsibilities now. My oldest son has moved away and doesn't ride much anymore except when he comes to visit. My middle son still makes time to ride, and his sister sometimes goes too. He flies through the new trails and whoops he's found, soaring through the air and carving through the dirt like they were made just for him. You can see the changes in his riding, the skills he's honed over the years. And out there with him, his sister is proving how much she's grown too. But who knows, maybe in their lifetime, even those places will give way to something new. As the days and months pass, I imagine laughter returning to the old Whoop-de-Doo track. Kids playing where a carved-out motocross course once stood, making their own memories, but in a different way. I can only hope that, in honor of the dirt trails, hills, and whoops that once were, these newly paved streets will be filled with kids on pedal bikes, skateboards, or power wheels, whatever brings them joy, carrying the same excitement mine once had. I drove back through recently. The dirt was gone, replaced with freshly paved streets, rows of new homes, and more on the way. The lots that hadn't been built on still held traces of the old whoops, but they were fading fast. The atmosphere was different. The streets were empty, just like they had been when we'd bring the kids out here at this time of day, free to goof off with no one else around. I'm not knocking growth. It happens whether we want it to or not. But memories stay with you. Sometimes when you hear an engine rev in the distance or catch the scent of gas and dirt in the air, you're right back at the track, watching your kids fly through the whoops, feeling that rush of adrenaline as they soar, unstoppable, kicking ass and taking names. And then the moment fades. The engine quiets, the dust settles, the land moves on. But if you close your eyes just for a second, you can still hear it. The echoes of the past, carried by the wind, echoing like a ride that once was. I was lucky enough to capture one last ride before it was all gone. One final lap through the whoops, the dirt kicking up behind them, the sound of their engines filling the air one last time. A send-off to the place that shaped them, before it too became just a memory. It's true what they say. The good times go by too fast, but maybe that's what makes them so unforgettable.